Where
Yeah.
are you? Hello, everyone. We are live.
We're live now. Hello.
Yes, we are. Melissa is playing around with her computer's screensaver and acting like it's 1999.
When was the last time you set up a bouncing text screensaver, Kyle? I forgot how fun this is. I haven't
Windows
done this
97.
in
That
years.
that was when.
Kyle, what color do we want?
God, I don't know. Uh, Purple,
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
like a purplish pink, or like a
Okay.
pinkish purple, something
Got
around there.
it. Got it. Got it.
That's pretty 90s, if you ask me.
Yes. Tumble, wobble. I'm trying to figure out the difference between tumble and wobble. Okay.
Uh,
Wobble's the one we.
Wobble. Yeah, you know what Wobble is. Tumble does not allow adult content.
This is going to be a very adult screensaver.
God, how is it that adult? What?
I typed out like 80085 so it spells boobs.
I was like, did you write penis? Like, what is the word that you used for your weird screensaver you're making?
No, it just says stream starting soon. Man, how do I get this to you? How
I
do
don't
I
know.
package my screensaver settings and send it to you? Like, Kyle, add this macro to your computer and it will give you the same screensaver that I made because this is looking pretty good. I wish the text could be bigger, but like the specular highlights are great.
Specular highlights. I don't even know
Beautiful
what that
shit.
means.
I don't know. I'm not a computer graphics person.
Anyways, I hit record on GarageBand.
I did also.
That might be something we want to do. Hello, hi, everyone in the chat. I'm kind of trying something new with my mic. Let me know if it's sounding good or not.
I think you sound good.
Hopefully it works on the stream as well. There should be a little bit more of a noise gate and stuff like that, so you shouldn't hear as much background paraphernalia.
Oh, no dogs.
Well, I mean, if they, who knows? If they go crazy after some squirrel or something, then you might hear them in the background. Oh boy. How was your screen? Did you get your screensaver all wrapped up and done
Yeah, I
there?
can get it. Yeah, it's on there. If my I set it so that if I don't touch it for 42 minutes, if I watch an entire
42
television
minutes.
episode, then my computer will start stream saving.
Screensaver. That's so.
Stream starting soon.
This whole screensaver thing started because Melissa or I mentioned that we should find some new stream starting soon
Mm-hmm.
video, so it's not some like static image there. And I was like, maybe we can find an app or some website that will like has the algorithm for that like DVD thing that makes the logo start like bouncing around the corners, and you have to wait for it to go exactly right in the corner. And then we were like, what if we just got like the Windows 98 like maze screensaver?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Kyle, I love the maze screensaver so much. It would just play in the background of like classrooms I was in, like
Yeah,
all through grade school, and I would become enchanted by it, and I wanted to live in it, and I wanted to solve the maze.
yeah,
Like, there's all those nostalgic pop-ups that are happening now, like, oh, we built like the cafe, we built the Max, the cool burger joint from Saved by the Bell in this real restaurant, and you can go here for like 2 weeks or something. Or somebody made the Electric Pussycat Swingers club from Austin Powers.
yeah.
Did I know that entire name off the top of my head? Yes, don't worry about it. But what I want somebody to make in real life for me is the Windows 95 Maze screensaver. Like,
I'm
forget American Ninja Warrior, forget Tough Mudder, all of those. You go do the Windows 95 Maze screensaver, and then
that
we'll
would
see what kind of
be
champion you are.
that would be an interesting like Japanese game show type of thing, a living maze where you go like you start and like there are like movable walls. So you start going in one direction and it starts building itself because people are like behind the walls like
Yes.
moving them, and they're in like this gigantic warehouse and they have to like eventually like get to a certain spot, and it's kind of up to the people building the maze as they're going through it, like how long it takes them. It would see how it would be funny to see how people react, like if they just start fucking with the guy in the maze where he's just going in circles, or something else. Yeah, episode 31 of the Captain's Log. That is what we are on right now. I also have some fancy new name social media things. Melissa, I don't think you can see them on your end, but our names just popped up with our Twitter handles and all of that stuff. So it's fancy schmancy now. We are slowly, but very slowly,
Watched myself
improving the stream.
While I'm doing it. I don't know if that's like dividing by 0. If I do it, I'll die. If you die in the game, you die in real life. Don't cross the streams, etc., etc.
Well, I don't know. You might want to be careful if your computer can handle recording and being on Skype and watching the stream and all of that stuff.
The broadcasters indicated that the channel is intended for mature audiences.
Yes, lots of not safe for work stuff here.
Yeah, oh boy, that's me. It's me.
Oh boy.
Kyle, have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes, I have seen Spaceballs.
When will now be now?
They have that like that infinity mirror thing showing on.
Rick Moranis watching Rick Moranis watching Rick Moranis. That's what I feel like. I'm Rick Moranis all the way down.
They've gone plaid. That's a fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh boy. Speaking of movies, did you see the Avengers 4 trailer?
I did, Kyle.
Yes.
And you put this in our Google Doc sheet of possible topics that I looked at like, I don't know, 5 p.m. or something as I was like getting ready to leave work, thinking about the rest of my night. I'm like, hold on. I knew this was happening soon, but not a soul has told me. It has been out all day. All day. Nobody told me.
And my response to that was, get on the internet. Like, is your job that fun where you are never bored and it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna check Twitter even though I have no reason to, and it's like, oh my god,
I look at my notifications. So like if somebody mentioned me or retweeted me or something, that sounds narcissistic, but like I don't just go to the regular feed. Every once in a while I'm like, what are my notifications? Do I have any highlights from friends, stuff like that? But just the general outside world, I ain't got time for that, Kyle.
It's too good for us.
We're going to talk about what keeps me so busy at work. It's actually good stuff recently.
Yeah, well, I was like, what do you, your academic journals that you're reviewing surely aren't as important as Twitter, as Facebook and Reddit and whatever else.
There was a guy in my office who sent me the link immediately when the Captain Marvel trailer came out, and he was not on top of his game, and I'm going to have words with him on Monday.
Smack him around a bit. Show him who's boss.
But yes, I came home, and the first thing I did when I got home from work and I could watch it on the big TV was the new Avengers trailer. Kyle, drum roll. This is a gentle drum roll, so it's not too hard on the audio. What's it called, Kyle?
Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Woo. I think that was one of the ones that it was one of the ones that a lot of people predicted, but I think that was one of the ones that I was like, I think it's going to be that one.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
So who knows? I cannot wait. It's also showing a week earlier
Yeah, that's interesting.
which they like, I guess they didn't really mention it because last time there was the whole thing with like Robert Downey Jr. being like, "Hey, it's my birthday. We should move it up or something," you know? They're like, "Okay." But yeah, that I woke up and that was the first thing that I saw. I woke up and I was like, "Okay, phone, what's the world up to today?" And Avengers 4. And it was
I wake up at
great.
6 a.m. I wake up at 6 a.m., so yeah, I don't get that. The world is asleep.
I'm not gonna mention too much about what's happening in there in case people don't really want spoilers,
Yeah.
or stuff like that. But I liked it. People are talking about it's overhyped, but it's not. I guess I'm wondering if people were wanting more action and that there's not as much like fight scenes or action.
There really isn't.
It's really like our first glimpse at the post Thanos world, and we don't know what's happening yet. And the trailer almost didn't reveal anything.
Okay, it did reveal one fact to us, which the end of Infinity War kind of left up in the air. Yes, Thanos has destroyed 50% of all creatures. Because that's something they bring up in the Infinity Gauntlet graphic novel that, like, yeah, animals. Half of pandas are gone. Half of platypi, gone. Any animal you can name,
The
half
poor
of it's
platypi.
gone. So, yeah, confirmed. Confirmed now.
Yeah.
Half of Scott Lang's ants, gone.
But yeah, so I'm like I guess I'm wondering if people thought it was going to be bigger and they didn't get that, and still people are super hyped, so that's why they're saying it's overhyped. Like it's a more like mellow trailer of just like, oh shit, we just got our first look, but there's no like big like money shot with them all like running.
Yes.
You know,
it is not an action trailer. It's not a plot trailer. You don't really know what's going on. It's just all characters. It's all like character reactions. It's all character struggle. And I like that. I think that's kind of what it needs to be, because I think to show us anything more would be to show us too much.
Yeah.
Because this really is
honestly,
setting the stage for we don't know. Like that was such a big ending. It's like, oh, you could do anything. Like this is a reference for you and maybe a small handful of the listeners. Do you remember the end of Lost season 5 where they hit that reset button and the screen flashes white and you're like, what does this mean? What's season 6 going to be like? Like this is such a blank slate now.
Yeah.
That's what the end of Infinity War kind of was. So I think they showed us probably about as much as they could show us.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping they don't show us anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like this movie is absolutely big enough to just be like, well, here it is. That's it. Like no TV spots, no, or like maybe a TV spot or two based off of this one trailer.
Yeah,
it's the Marvel movies, especially Infinity War and now Avengers Endgame. I feel like is such like a big cultural thing that everyone is gonna go see, you know? And I usually don't care too much about like spoilery trailers, which I don't feel like trailers are ever spoilery. Unless they show the entire plot of the thing, but you sometimes don't know if that's the case until you see the movie and you're like, oh, that was all in the trailer.
I never find myself spoiled by a trailer. That is something I hear a lot of other people say, like, that showed me too much. Like, now I know too many things to be expecting. Like, if I saw a character do this in a trailer and then it looks like they're dead in the movie, I'm like, well, I know they're going to come back. I will say there was a horror comedy called Happy Death Day, which is kind of a Groundhog Day sort of movie where a
They're
girl
making a
is mur
second one of that, right?
Yes,
The
yes,
trailer
yes,
looks amazing for the second
yes,
one. I thought the
yes.
first one looked so stupid.
Okay, okay, Kyle. The first one, it's like a Groundhog Day story. Like this
Yeah,
girl is murdered, and so every day she has to start the day over until she finds out who murdered her. It's really fun, actually. I totally recommend it.
I know what you're
And the
speaking about now, because when that
yes,
trailer
yes.
came out, it completely ruined the first
Yeah, it's
movie. I
like,
now no
well,
longer need to see that. But that's
please
a
do
little
see it, Kyle.
different, though, because that is spoiling something that's already out, whereas like a trailer
Yeah.
for a movie is more for something that's not out yet.
But
I
like
mean, I guess usually, if that makes sense. But
I don't I just
yeah,
don't think I've seen a movie that hinges on like one big question and there's like a big twist and then there's a sequel to it that's like, well, we know what the big twist was. And like
and
it's
in
all too
fact, here it
soon.
is again, in case
Yeah,
you missed it.
like okay. Not that like I mean it tells you who murdered her and it is fairly
And how
easy to
she
guess
stopped
who
him.
murdered her. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. I thought that was a big, bold move, and we're gonna see if it pays off or not, I guess.
It so about that. What's the second one called? It's Happy
It's
Death Day something,
so the first movie's called Happy Death Day because it's like the girl's birthday that she's reliving
right?
over and over again when she gets murdered. And the sequel is called Happy Death Day to You.
So dumb. But yeah, like that first, like I'm not a big horror genre fan anyways. But it's one of those horror movies that just look like this was just the absolute stupidest idea anyone could think of, and they went with it, and it looked terrible to me.
Mm,
This second one, though, I felt like nailed it. It was like, okay, they have an interesting plot, but only because they did the first movie, and now she's having to, I guess, redo it again.
mhm.
And it's in it was like there was a problem, we solved it, it shouldn't happen again. She's now moved on with her life, but then
Mhm.
something happens and again she wakes up
Yeah.
back in that one day and it's just like, oh fuck. But it has this like cheeky, almost self-aware
Yes.
vibe to it, but not enough where it's corny, at least in that
I think
trailer,
so, yes.
where
I
it's
think
like
you
they'll
got it.
they'll they'll give you a couple head nods and they're just gonna have a lot of fun
Hmm.
with it. So I'm actually excited about that one.
Watch the first one first, though. If you don't do it on your own, I'm gonna pitch it to you.
She's gonna be
Which
like,
is
I
the
have three choices and it's all the same movie.
like I'll put it up against like two things you would not pick. Like, okay, Kyle, we can watch the Star Wars Holiday Special and Ishtar, or we can watch Happy Death Day.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What other? So you mentioned the Captain Marvel trailer. What did you think of that when that came out?
I liked it. Yeah, I don't.
You seem a lot more indifferent about that one.
I it showed me a little bit more about the movie, but it's not like there's one particular. I like it as a whole. It's not like oh, the trailer did this thing. It showed me this thing, and I really like it because of that. Like
You just not know
I'm just
much about Captain
no,
Marvel.
no. I'm just excited for the continual build of information until I get to meet this nice lady on my movie screen.
There you go.
Like I was glad to see it, but I'm not like oh. It told me this thing that I was waiting for that really surprised me. Like it was
Yeah,
all
I
kind of the same sort of new.
I feel like it's yeah, it's a character a lot of people aren't familiar with, but it's also a character that's been around in the Marvel universe for a long time. So people like me who are like, I know who she is. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. It's so good. It looks fantastic. And then like I've seen other people be like, I've never even heard of her. It's like, well, where have you been the past like 30 years in comic. Like, is your frame of reference for comics the 1960s? Like,
Mhm.
it's, I
I,
mean, which is totally fine, but it's still just like, this is like, with as big as the Marvel movies are, you would think like there would be at least a little bit more interest to like at least go and look and be like, okay, well,
yeah.
what's at least happening in
Hmm.
these? And Captain Marvel has been a fairly major player,
Yeah.
so
I
who
will
knows?
say the trailer did include Peter Serafinowicz. He's back. And do you remember like that one soldier guy in Guardians of the Galaxy who's like, what a bunch of a-holes? It's
Yeah.
that guy. He's back. I love him.
Well, yeah. So that one they've mentioned, and I guess again, kind of maybe potential spoiler stuff, which isn't
Mhm.
actually a spoiler. Um, the Captain Marvel movie is mainly going to be set in the 90s, so
Yeah.
before all of the Marvel movie stuff happened, like 10 years before all of that stuff. Um, so I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Um, that one, I think we know a little bit more of the plot of that one than
Hmm.
we do Endgame, Avengers Endgame. Um, that one, they've at least kind of spelled out what I think the arc of the movie is going to be. Like, hey, this is the journey that this hero is going to be
Uh-huh.
taking, but we don't know the
Yes.
steps of how that's happening or when that's
Hmm.
happening and the pace at which that's happening. So that could all happen in the first 10 minutes of the film, right? And then we don't know whatever else.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, good stuff.
Hmm.
I'm excited. Are you planning to go see Aquaman or Spider-Man?
I I'd like to see both of them. I'm very interested in seeing Spider-Man, and I asked my like normal superhero like movie going friend if she wanted to see it, and she's like something about like the frame rate, the animation. Like every time I've seen a trailer on the big screen, it's kind of disorienting. So I think I'm gonna wait and watch it like
Interesting.
on TV at home, which is fine. I get that. It's like, oh, now I have to find another superhero movie going buddy. I don't have a backup one.
Or you can be lame like me and go by yourself.
I very well might. I live like 3 minutes away from a movie theater now. I have not been there at all since I've
You
moved.
ever do stuff like that where you just go out by yourself and just like, I'm gonna just go eat out at a restaurant by myself?
Um,
Just
I will go to live theater events by myself because they're so short-lived.
sure.
Like, I think I've told you about the Muni Theater, which is a local St.
Probably
Louis
mentioned
theater.
it.
Yeah, yeah, it's this local St. Louis theater, and it's outdoor musicals. Big, beautiful Broadway musicals in this incredible, like, old outdoor amphitheater that's been like, technologized over time. They're still doing
Yeah.
like way more upgrades and repairs on it. It's so nice. Yeah, they only happen like a week at a time, and I try and see every show they do every summer. And it's like, okay, this is like a 4-hour adventure for this old musical. They don't know anybody who's actually seen it or like likes it, and it's like 100 degrees outside and it might rain. I'm not going to convince anybody to go do this with me. I'm just going to go by myself. So like I will do
That works.
stuff like that by myself a lot where it's like, okay, nobody's coming with me or I can't wait to find company. I'll just do it. I also like I go to the mall by myself a lot. I love a mall. I think I might do that tomorrow
I
morning
feel
if I get up early enough.
I feel like malls are one of those things where it's like when you're younger, like when you're in middle school or a high schooler, you can only go if you're
Yeah.
with other people. But that's like
Mhm.
once you get to like college age, it's just like, I don't want to go to the mall. I just, okay, I'll go, I'll get the things that I need, and then I'll be done, you know? So you go by yourself, and that's it.
Mhm.
Or like
And
with one other person who's just like, I guess I'll tag along, you know.
yeah, I want to go. Me, like the 28-year-old office spinster, loves a mall walk. Not like an old lady mall walk, but like I go to the used bookstore. I buy like a $4 like used paperback like corny romance novel because I love that stuff. And I want like a holiday themed one this year. Like, oh, I'm gonna carve out some time for me and I'm just gonna read
Fabio
this.
meets Santa.
Oh, I wish. But I don't know. I'm gonna go see what they have.
Has Fabio been naughty? I I
Yes, that. I
I
want all of that.
I feel like there has to be some kind of Amazon erotic ebook between Fabio and Santa out there already.
Absolutely, I'm certain that there is, but I want
Rule
like the
34.
paperback with like these two beautiful models on the cover, or like an old oil painting illustration, or just like a close-up shot of like a tree with some Photoshop filters on it. I love a paperback book. I'm gonna go get me like some cheap, so corny, like the cornier the better, like Christmas romance novel and like a soft pretzel, and I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna gawk at all the windows.
Amazing.
It sounds like the perfect day.
Yeah. I've kind of gotten to the point where I feel like doing things by yourself is actually really nice.
Yeah.
Like for like I think a lot of people look at that as really strange or like really weird. Like, oh, you go to the movies by yourself? You like you went to Applebee's by yourself? What a fucking loser.
I mean, if you're
and
gonna go anywhere by yourself, go to Olive Garden because then a family will take you in.
and let me be clear, I absolutely 100% am a loser, but but it's still like it's kind of nice sometimes to just not have to worry about anyone else. Like, oh, are they gonna be late, or are we? Did we get in the right theater? Oh, you want snacks? Okay, can you save this? You know, just all of
Yeah.
these like extra details of just having multiple people there, and like having that one friend that always talks or laughs like the entire thing. It's like, it's not even funny. Shut up, dude. Like, you know, um, and like just to go by yourself and just not have to worry about any of that. Just get the snack you want. Take your damn time. Sit in the seat you want. You don't have to worry if there's 5 seats all next to each other. You can just be like, I'm gonna take that one. It's just me,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sit
Yeah.
here and enjoy this movie, and it's fantastic.
hmm Yeah, and I like not having to explain myself. Like, I don't want to go to the mall and like tell somebody, now I want to go into this store, but only for like 5 minutes. I just want to pick up a thing and look at it and then leave the store, and then go to another store for 10 minutes and smell some of the stuff there because it's like a lush or whatever. Like, I don't want to have to explain and narrate all of my actions to like, I don't know, reinforce them to another human being. It's like, no, I just want to be me and I want to be free.
Yeah, yeah. Or like, there was a couple times where I would just go, because when I was still in school, the like meal plan that we had the like swipes to get
Mm.
certain meals, and then we had dining dollars,
Aha.
we could use at like other restaurants and stuff that didn't actually take swipes, but it was more just like a debit card type of
Yes.
thing. Um, and we had a Chili's that took the dining dollars. And you know,
Chili's.
it's like a mediocre Chili's Applebee's type of thing. And sometimes I would go there. I would sit down with like some comics or my laptop, and I just sit there for like 3 or 4 hours and just like reading, like, bring me all the Mountain Dew you can, bring me a molten lava cake,
You
like.
sitting for 4 hours alone in a Chili's on your laptop is so funny to me.
But like I'm just like off in my own little world on the internet, or like in some comic book, and I have my like Cajun chicken pasta or my like molten chocolate cake there, and just like I've had like 16 Mountain Dews, you know.
That is nice though. Like, I do like reading in a cafe or something like that. Like, I went out on The Black Friday, and I did.
Oh my god! I'm sorry to interrupt. The funniest thing is once I did that, and it was I had to have two different servers because the one left it was at the end of the end of their shift.
Explain this guy to you before I leave.
And he's like, well, I'm done with my shift, so I'm gonna be leaving. This is Amy. She's gonna be taking over. And I was just like, oh hey, thanks. Sorry. Don't mind me. Can I have a more Mountain Dew, please? Thank you. I'm a nerd. Don't look at me.
Well, I went out and I did some Black Friday shopping just because, like, I needed new clothes, and, like, that is the best day to get the new clothes.
Sure.
And I knew, okay, what if there's a terrible traffic jam, like getting out of the shopping plaza? Let me bring a book so I can just sit in my car and read a book until, like, the traffic dies down or whatever, because that's what I do. And I went out and I got some little lunch at a bread co, which you call Panera Bread in other parts of the country. But it's just plain old St. Louis bread co here in its hometown. And I just sat there and I got a little sandwich, and the traffic just flowed out around the restaurant, and I read about, a wizard for a while. It was good.
Fabio and a wizard. That's my only reference for romance novels.
Do not.
Fabio.
Okay. I don't take the romance novels out in public. I've got that much dignity. I will go out in public to purchase them, but once they're mine, I don't take them with me to the dentist's office or something like that.
But you wear a bandana on top of your face so no one can recognize you. Like, I will take all of your romance novels, please. You have a hat and some sunglasses with a mustache, right? So no one knows it's you.
Shoulders and a trench coat, so they think I'm just like a very tall man who likes romantic vampires. Sure. No, I take just the straight down the middle, not overtly sexy fantasy novels out in public with me.
That's amazing. Good times in the Chili's.
Okay, so romance novels equals stock photos, and stock photos equals what I did all day at work today.
Did you get to take stock photos?
No, I wish that's something we got to do. So a couple weeks ago, our office installed this in-department chat client on all of our computers.
Yeah.
It was designed for us to just ask each other super quick messages. It's like, hey, is this website down for anybody else right now? Or, so-and-so is out of the office at the home corporation.
Did you see that really big cow?
Yes. And then it was designed for us, I think, to get information to and from each other very quickly. And then it just descended into nonsense, just real fast. Memes, dad jokes. Yesterday, one girl was talking about, Spotify released my end of the year playlist for me today. It was really cool. And then we all started sharing our music stuff, and we're like, let's make a playlist together as an entire department.
That never goes well.
No, Kyle, do you want to know?
Never goes well.
Do you want to know what's on it? It's going very well so far, Kyle. Okay. Track 1, Rack City. What do we have here? Miami by Will Smith. You Can Call Me Al by Paul Simon. Fly Like a G6. We're all just sitting there on our spreadsheets filling out the billing reports listening to Fly Like a G6.
So you are making fun of me for sitting in Chili's for 4 hours by myself, except your entire office is filling out expense reports and looking at academic journals while all simultaneously listening to Fly Like a G6, and all I'm imagining is what's his name, Tom Cruise from Tropic Thunder in like the Apple bottom, like he just has that song on but you guys all have your headphones on independently. You guys all have the exact same song on. That's so like that's almost like borderline like cultish brainwash. Like
we're not doing it. It's not like, okay, guys, at 11:05, everybody
silent dance party
playlist, and we're all going to listen to the Office playlist. No, it's just a fun thing for us to share stuff with each other. All
gonna play the song at the same time.
Especially because we've got so many new people, and we're all still getting to know each other. Like, I'm like, okay, I have to make a good impression on the new people. So what am I going to put on here? The theme to Goosebumps, spooky, scary skeletons, and September
Weirdest
by Earth,
playlist.
Wind and Fire.
Weirdest playlist. I love
it. It powers all of us through our long work days.
I'm not friends with any of my coworkers. Like I would 100% be the one that just doesn't respond to any of those messages. Just shut up and leave me alone, guys. Like let me do my work.
We didn't used to be friends with each other. We used to just be a bundle of assorted loners. And then we started getting new people come in, and we tried to make a good impression and be more social. And all the new people really hit it off with each other. And they give every new person to me to train. I'm their mom, and they're my baby duck for a while. And so I bond with them, and then they bond with each other. And like this chat thing has just united all of us as a family. We're not an assorted bunch of loners. Now we're a family. And we spent all day just sending each other bad stock photos from the internet, like Cyberwoman with corn. I got to introduce people today to Cyberwoman with corn. I feel proud.
I'm not sure how big your company is. But
smallish, we're like 40 people maybe. I don't know. My department's like 10 people.
So my team is maybe like 6 people ish. But like I work for a university, so there's a bunch of basically, if I want to somehow implement any kind of change, it's going to be impossible to like do all of that stuff. Like even just like just my job in general is reflective of that same concept. Basically, it's strange because emails, I basically build out emails that we send out to people. Emails are dead. No one uses emails anymore except for businesses and universities. And even then, like, I'm wondering, like, we send out emails to all the alumni and stuff. Like, there has to be a cutoff age where it's like, okay, the baby boomers, we can email them and they at least know how to open emails and stuff like that. And they're at this point all in the work mostly, right? They're all businessmen and women and stuff like that. So they kind of have that email thing ingrained in them. Yep. But if you go back far enough, do they even know how to use a computer? Like, I like, no offense, but like, my mom doesn't even know how to hook up stuff into her TV. And it's always like, Mom, the square goes in the square. The circle goes in the circle. It's a baby's
blocks,
toy.
Mom? It's blocks.
It's literally that. And it's easier because they also color code some of them. The red one goes in the red one. The white one, like it just, if it's a square.
Not bomb surgery, Mom.
Yeah, but like if my parents who are baby boomers can, like, if they can't even do that, like my mom's email is like 2,000 or 3,000 emails, and it's all spam. She's like, I don't even know how this happened. Like, I don't even know who these people are. And it's like, well, why don't you unsubscribe from all of these things? It's like, yeah, if you sign up for something, it's like, I don't know if I signed up for anything. It's like, well, it's you signed up for something, and or you signed up for something and they sold your information to
Mhm.
like advertise. Either way, you can unsubscribe. You've let
Yeah.
like 20 years of these things just pile up of signing up for things and having your information like sold off, so she just gets stuff constantly. But like it's that there has to be some cutoff age when they get too old to like, it's like why,
Yeah.
I don't want to be ageist, but on the flip side, the younger ones who like me who graduated like 4 years ago
Mm-hmm.
ish, like it, I don't use email ever.
Yeah. Nah. Nah.
Like I don't want to. Like we have one for the podcast so people can write in if they want to, but we have so many other ways people can do that, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
have Discord, like some of the businesses that I know use Slack, which is the
Mm-hmm.
same type of thing
Yeah.
as Discord, but is more oriented towards businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, why don't we use something like that? It would make things a million times easier. Why don't these guys just like opt into something, or there has to be some better way to implement, like, hey, do you want a newsletter or Twitter alert or Facebook? Like us on Facebook.
One thing I think it might be is that email is the same. Email has worked the same for 20 years.
It
It
does not
will
budge.
work
It
the
is 20
same.
years behind in technology
20
as well. So I'm the graphic designer that has to kind of make them look nice, and it's just
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
ancient technology. You can't make it do these things that you want it to. Like, it's not a website. Just make your own website.
I get that, but I think for a lot of big companies, they're like, we want to design one thing once. We don't want to have to keep chasing platform to platform to platform. It would
That's
be
the
like,
ideal
what
thing.
if one of the things, like, what if Slack turned into like MySpace or something?
It won't.
Oh, okay.
But
But
I
email's
I
steady
kind of know
and
what you mean,
stale,
right?
even if it is boring. It's like white bread. Is it the best
But so
option?
so
No, but it ain't
here's
going
something else
anywhere.
that's even more boring that I hate about my job. So I'm a graphic
Oh,
designer. That's what I
yes.
have my degree in. I have slowly started to make things look better on our website and our stream. I'm still not happy with it at all. So things will change. Just FYI, if you guys are watching this on YouTube and be like, well, their stream thing doesn't even really look all that good. I know.
What do you think I
Um,
made that screensaver for? I'm helping too.
um, be patient. No, but so I'm the one that wants to make things look fancy and colorful
Yes.
and easy to read and all of that stuff. Um, at the same time, like when you're on the web or you're using email clients, you want to be as like accessible as possible.
Yes.
That's why you want the right coding practices. That's why as a designer you want to make things clear, concise, and legible, like all
Hmm.
of that good stuff. But one of the things we have to comply with, and again, it's gonna sound like I'm trying to like rail against this, and I'm not necessarily. There's just a
Uh-huh.
better way that my job could incorporate this stuff in there.
Uh-huh.
We all of the emails we send out have to be ADA compliant, the
Hmm.
Americans with Disabilities Act. Meaning, if someone is hard of sight, we need to make sure there
Hmm.
is enough contrast in the colors for them to be able to read it,
Yes.
which then eliminates a lot of colors that we can be using and all of that stuff. And if it's plain text and you're just changing the color of the font, like that makes sense, right? You
Hmm.
don't want like yellow font on a white background because that's going to be impossible to read. But like we like just if I'm not mistaken, like standard like web red, like if you do like like if you change the color of something in CSS to red, I don't think that passes.
Huh.
And yeah, strange. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's stupid stuff like that. It's like I can see red text on a white background. I wouldn't want it in a big long paragraph,
Mm-hmm.
but I can see that still, right? Like I can read that. Um, but then like we have one of the art departments, instead of dealing with us to like I guess like having to type out all of the stuff that they want in there, they just send us a flyer and they're like, yeah, just put that in. And for me, I'm like, fantastic. Your flyers look amazing. It's just a giant image. I'm a designer and they all look fantastic. This is amazing. But then for someone who is actually blind, they can't read that because
Yeah.
there's no thing there. So we have to put in alt text,
Yes.
which if they're using a screenwriter, which will then describe the picture. Which usually they don't provide that for, so I have to be like, "You're invited to blah 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 at this time," and type all of that stuff in. I'm sure most of you guys out there have now glazed over since this is really
I'm interested, Kyle. Like I
boring.
learned a little bit about coding, and with that was like accessibility practices for things like alt text.
Yeah. So it like I we had one of those emails today where I put the image in and it looks fantastic, and I had to put the alt text in. One of my coworkers, who's like, it's a weird relationship because I'm not like she's not necessarily my boss, but she's kind of a supervisor in the sense that she's the one that talks to the departments and gets all of the content.
Uh-huh.
Then the content goes to me. I basically copy and paste it. I send it back to her. She sends it to the department. She's basically a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent the email back to her, and she was like, "Oh, so I don't think that flyer looks really well. I started typing it out. Can you like fix it so it looks nicer and it looks like their flyer, all of that stuff?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, yeah, we can do that, but we don't really need to since it's on the thing. But like, it's in." And she came back and was like, "It's an image though. It's not really ADA compliant." I was like, "It is if we do the alt text." And she's like, "Well, yeah, blah blah blah." I'm like, we don't have to do all of this. Like this is super annoying. And then it's long story short, I'll end things here. It's this idea of like we can like I can like as a designer I can actually design an email that looks nice using this ancient technology. Adding in multiple colors and different sizes and pictures and all of that stuff. But we're often told not to do that and just put things in like black and white. And it's just like, well, then why? Like, if you're just gonna send like black and white thing, like why don't people just do like an RSS reader, which is even more obscure? Or like why? Like what? Like if you want people to click on these and open your email, you should make them look as attractive as possible. Because sometimes they'll open it up just to see what it is, and if they just see a wall of text, they'll be like, "Nope,
Yeah.
that's stupid. I'm not going to listen to that." But if they see colors and pictures and all of this stuff, they're like, "Oh, that looks nice," and they might spend time at least looking at the full thing. Maybe something will catch their eye. So I'm the designer that can't design things for my job. It's terrible. But at the same time, I love my job because most of the time I can sit there and do nothing. And they pay me really well, so.
I like my job just for what my job is. My job drains more of my time than it should, but I still love it.
I mean, it's really straight. So at the end of the semester, especially in winter, I'm swamped because the holiday break, we don't work, but stuff still has to go out. So all of that work is like pushed 2 or 3 weeks, but behind, so we have to do
Mhm.
basically double duty for
Oof.
the month before the holidays. But yeah, I mean, it like besides that, I'll have like 2 hours of actual work, and I'm there the rest of the day, just like watching videos on YouTube and like reading comics, and sometimes I'm sitting there with Pokemon on my Nintendo Switch.
You
That's
work
what I do.
2 hours a day, and I work 10, 11, 12 hours a day.
But then my coworkers will always send me something like, "Hey, I know you're busy, but can you?" I'm like, "I guess I can do this. You know what? Just for you, I'll do it now.
Special favor.
Special favor for you,
day.
just cause I like you."
Kyle, I have a question for you.
Yes,
You said that recently you were doing some sort of like, not really team building stuff, but like interactive stuff with other coworkers, correct?
interactive
Kind of.
stuff with other
You had
coworkers.
to do like, you did stuff. You
Oh,
did
was it the like?
personality tests?
Yeah, the like training personality thing.
That stuff, yes. So I, do you have to do icebreakers frequently? And do you use this as your fun fact about yourself, or do you completely hide this from everybody else?
The podcast that like,
Yes, I'm
hey, I do a
curious about this.
podcast. I no, I've not used the podcast as a like, here's a fun fact about me. I usually use the fact that I don't know how to ride a bike.
Well, Kyle, I don't either.
I think you and I have mentioned that once before, and it's like, oh my god, we like lost. We don't know how to ride bikes. Like, what the hell? Like, are we living the same life?
Yeah, they were both supposed to have like 8-hour work days, and instead,
'Cause
like they flipped the slider all wrong, and you work 2 hours and I
they
work 12.
there's that saying that's like, oh, it's like riding a bike, meaning you never forget. You just get on, and it comes right back to you. And I'm always like, so you guys have heard this saying that it's like riding a bike. You never forget all of that stuff. Well, I can prove that wrong. Me, I have forgotten how to ride a bike.
So at one point you did know.
Yes, I did
Wow.
know. I learned, and then, long story short, I got in a really bad accident. And I like, it's weird. Like, I'm not outwardly scared of like getting on one and doing that.
Uh-huh.
There might be something subconsciously there, but
Yeah.
there was like, it was one of those things, like the times that I did get back on, like I just couldn't do it. I didn't know why. Like, why am I not like
Aw.
balancing right? Why am I not like, I don't know, like I can't make this work, but I can use like scooters just fine. Like I was like, when I was in elementary school, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move to Razor scooters. I'm gonna
Oh,
have a wheelie bar and everything.
I mean, it's like riding a razor scooter. You never forget.
But
So
like
the-
I so one more thing. So yeah, like
Yes.
I know how to ride a scooter. Not that that's impressive or something I would share on a first date. But I used to dance as well, so my balance is is fine. It's fantastic. So I don't like, yeah, it's one of those weird things that's just like, I don't know why like I couldn't ever figure it out again. Though I'm sure if like my life depended on it, yeah, I'd be fine. I just have to go fast enough or something. Who knows?
Tell
You
me.
look surprised. You didn't know that I used to dance.
No, you've got a hoodie you wear sometimes that has like
Exposed dance on the thing,
yeah,
and it
yeah. I
says
thought
like
it was like you're such an art.
KCBA or KCNC.
You're such an artsy dude. I thought maybe like you took photos at like a dance recital and they gave you a free hoodie or something like that. I did not. I did not know dance was one of your arts.
I used to do the dancing.
Dancing like how?
So once I got to, I guess the story with that is, a good friend of mine went off to college, and when he came back for like summer and winter break, he was like, "Yo, I'm starting to learn to break dance," and I was like, "Hell yeah, teach me." And he was a terrible teacher, so that didn't work out well. Um,
Uh-huh.
but he would tell me about a couple of his friends, and once I got to school, I ended up going to the same school as that he went to. But
Mm-hmm.
by the time I got there, he dropped out. So he went off and did other stuff. But within that first week that I was here, like on campus, I saw the people like out on the main square. We call it the compass because it's this big round area that has a giant
Oh.
compass. Um, and they were out there with their big old like boombox and their linoleum mat, and they were break dancing, and I was just standing there just watching them. And then as I was watching them, I heard them talking and mention some of their names, and one of the names I recognized. I was like, "Oh, that's one of my friends." So I went up and I was like, "Hi, you don't know me. My name is Kyle Springer. I know that you know my friend, and I won't mention his name." He was like, "Yeah, like how do you know him? Yeah, blah blah blah." So that was my like in, and then I was friends with them. So my freshman year, I started to learn to break dance, as a lot of people call it, but that's not actually the right term. But yeah, like I really loved doing that, but I wasn't particularly great at it. I had the body language, but it's very difficult to kind of progress in that unless like that's the only thing that you do, and you like
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm gonna beat my fucking body up until it does
Ugh.
what I want it to. Um, and that was like I could do a little bit of like I guess it's called top rock, but that's all like the regular footwork. And then once you want to get to the fancy stuff where you're swinging your legs back and forth, or you're spinning on your head, that's when it's like, okay, you really need to like focus, and this needs to be all of this stuff that you do, and I could never do that stuff. So after that first year, a bunch of the other dancers did choreography. So they were more like hip hop styles and a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of different urban styles and funk styles and stuff like that. And I thought I wasn't gonna like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up like, well, yeah. I mean, I guess just long story short, that's what I switched to, and that's what I ended up really liking. And I did that for 4 or 5 years. And we started a dance crew, and we performed around the state.
The entire state of Virginia?
Yeah, and we also performed in North Carolina as well.
Two states?
Yeah. Then a couple other of friends of mine, they started up a workshop series, like dance workshops, which are usually not very cheap, or
Mm-hmm.
you have to be in LA or New York to get the good ones.
Uh-huh.
And so they were like, "Hey, we want to start up like a circuit of dance workshops that happen once a month, and instead of being at a specific spot every single time, like we'll go to a different school each month, like a different university." So we had a circuit in Virginia of workshops, and they both highlighted like local talent, as well as we brought people in from New York and LA and stuff like that. If you guys know anything about the dance scene, we brought people in from like movement lifestyle and stuff like that. But so I ended up kind of going to those workshops as well. I ended up becoming like my school's ambassador, which I like was like unofficial. Like we weren't. It's not like I was the official VCU ambassador thing, but for the organization, I was the representative who happened to be at VCU.
Kyle, if I was the ambassador of dance, I'd tell everyone.
It wasn't the ambassador of dance. But it like I was the one who kind of had to do the logistics of finding the location where the workshop could be held, finding the like local talent to be like, hey, this guy is good. He should teach a workshop or something, because not many people know who this person is, and they absolutely should. As well as like finding hotels or houses for people to stay at, making sure they all have rides, stuff like that. And to kind of help practice that, my dance crew here in Richmond, we taught free weekly dance workshops. And as the like rep, it was also my job then to schedule all of those workshops. So I scheduled like a bajillion workshops of like, okay, we're gonna bring in this dancer from Maryland, and we're gonna bring this person up from South Carolina, and all of this stuff, and you'll stay here, and you know, like all of that stuff. Eventually, since I wanted to do more of the graphic design work, I became the creative director of our circuit in North Carolina. And then eventually became the creative director of the one in Virginia as well at the same time. So that's something that I definitely have on my resume, that I was creative director of this dance organization that spanned multiple states, you know, like all of that stuff. So that's kind of what I did. I haven't danced in like 5 years-ish. So it's not something I really do anymore. So I'm fat and out of shape now. So it's that's not happening anytime soon.
That's amazing. I knew you could model, and so I guess modeling to dancing isn't a crazy huge leap.
I mean, I wouldn't say I
dancer.
I mean, I wouldn't say I could model, but sure. Whatever.
I don't know, do that like dramatic hand thing.
I have some photography equipment, and I've taken some self-portraits. But yeah, I've not done modeling per se. But yeah, like it's I don't know. I like to dip my fingers into all sorts of different artistic pies.
So cool.
And stuff like that. So who knows? Who knows? Enough about me though, because that was an awkward bender of like, yeah, I spend 4 hours in Chili's. I used to dance, and I feel you know.
Just the portrait of you spending 4 hours in Chili's eating a chocolate lava crunch cake and also being like a break dancer.
Yeah.
I've learned so much.
Yeah. Fun facts. Fun stuff.
Very fun facts.
Yeah. I don't even know how to segue or what to segue to. Let's see. What do we have on our thing that we can talk about? I
was gonna say real quick, the reason why I don't know how to ride a bike.
Oh yes.
So I've got a brother who's like a year and a half younger than me. You've met that brother.
James.
We have another brother that's way older than us. Like, I was born in
older
90.
James.
Yeah. That's Tim. So I was born in 90.
He go by Tams? Because then he'd be Tim Tams.
No, just plain old regular Tim. I was born in 90 and he was born in 1977. So our parents did like all the parenting stuff with him. And then I think by the time we got there, they were just tired.
Yeah, we don't want to do this shit.
Like they tried to teach us how to ride bikes, and we were like, we're not getting this. we don't like it, we don't care. And because our parents already had the experience of teaching a kid to ride a bike, they're like, okay,
Well,
good.
screw you. Learn by yourself then. Jeez.
Yeah, so like our parents were perfectly content to let us just be like soft indoor TV kids.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, we did camping and dune buggies and everything with the older kid, and now we are adults and we are tired.
Yeah. I did both things. Like, I'm an only child, so I'm totally fine in my room by myself, just like not talking to anyone. But growing up there, we did have a couple kids in the neighborhood, and we would go play basketball or stuff like that. So that's also another fun fact. You asked about the ice breakers. I'm a lefty, but I play basketball with my right hand.
Oh.
And I play guitar with my right hand too.
Kyle, you have to
Because
stop giving me things you're talented at, because I'm gonna want to learn about all of them.
so I don't play. I played guitar. I played bass guitar for like a year and a half. It was partly because my best friend had one, and he was also super into comics and stuff like that. And I was just like, "You're so cool. I want to be just like you." As well as the girl that I liked, her dad played bass guitar, and I could get bass lessons from him, and it was an excuse to go to her house and like see her. So it's just like,
I see.
I'm gonna sit here and play bass guitar, learn from your dad, and then we can hang out. There you go. And so yeah, and then I stopped because I was like, fuck this. I wanted to play drums, and in 6th grade I did percussion in school, and they make you do the like xylophone and all of that, like not the actual drums. It's percussion, you can play the triangle and the timpani and the all that stuff. It's like, no, fuck this. I want to give me a drum set. That's what I want to learn. Like, start me on that. Yeah,
I'm Whiplash now.
Yeah, you're not hardcore unless you live hardcore. Come on, guys. But that was too expensive to get me a drum set, so the next best thing was like a bass guitar. Anyways, the reason why I play bass guitar with my right hand and play basketball with my right hand is because that's what I saw other people doing, and so I just copied them.
Yeah.
But I'm a lefty though, so like you would think I would play with my left hand or like shoot the basketball with my left, but no. I do throw a football with my left hand though. So
how often do you throw footballs?
I think it's been like 20 years. I don't know.
Last played football is like a 7 or 8-year-old.
But like if I were to talk about my heyday throwing a football, I would sound like Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite. Just like, back in my day, I could throw a football over that mountain,
I have no physical skills. I can walk for a long time without getting that tired.
That's a skill.
I don't know. I think that's it. I don't know. I just walk. I just go.
I just go and I never stop.
Like, I can tackle like a big comic convention or all day at a museum pretty easily.
Do you stand up at your desk? Like, do you have one of those standing desk things?
No, some people have standing desks, but they have laid a claim to them. I'm not getting time at a standing desk.
I don't know why they're a thing, but I don't understand them because I want to sit my ass down. I don't want to stand on my fucking feet all day. That's the worst. Give me a good old comfy chair where I can sit back and multiple monitors and stuff like that. And I can just do my thing there. And they're all sitting there. It's not good for your back. You need to stand. Well, it's not good for your fucking feet. Okay? God damn.
Get out of my business, Carol.
Yeah. Leave me alone, Carol. God damn it. I haven't seen the giant cow. Now leave me alone.
Yeah, I have no skills. I would like to develop a skill of some kind. And
That
I
reminds me of Michael Scott. Like, I love inside jokes. I would
I
love
would
to
love
be a
to be a
part of
part
one
of one
day.
someday.
It's
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
I would love to develop a skill. just stop there. Like,
I mean, I've developed like cerebral skills like this and spreadsheets. I can cook.
that's a skill. That's
I think, yeah,
that's an
I'm
amazing
a very
skill.
I'm a very good baker,
Yeah,
Kyle.
you mentioned your whole like cookie racket that you
Mhm.
do. That it's like a protection racket or something that you have
No, they're gifts. It's
going on there.
100% charity.
Uh-huh. Gifts. I'm doing air quotes right now.
I've
Um,
told a single other person this, Kyle. I tell you this now. You're either going to be shocked or you're going to say, no, that makes sense. I should have seen that coming. One of these days, when I get the spare time, when I get the spare money for the classes, I want to learn pole dancing.
hell yeah, go for it.
I want to learn like stripper size. I want to learn like the flirty girl fitness. That
Go
whole
for it.
realm of things I want to learn how to do.
Go for it.
Yeah. I don't actually dance. I do not dance at all. Like I go to a wedding, I don't do it. It's
That's
not like
that's one of the like dance things that it's just like I don't know how the fuck people do that shit.
yeah.
It's just like that the like the strength and the technique to do all that stuff is amazing. Fantastic.
Yeah, like I'm not a natural dancer. Like I will go to weddings and people like old college friends or whatever will be like, "Come on, let's dance." And I'm like, "No, not." And they're like, "Oh, come on, you want to." And I'm like, "I don't want to."
As long as
Like
we can do the Scooby Doo dances from a pup named Scooby Doo.
I think people have it in their heads that like, oh, she wants to dance, but she's shy. She's insecure. She thinks people will make fun of her. I'm like, no, I don't have whatever that thing is in my head that tells me there's music
So
playing now you dance.
are
Like,
are you the type of person then, like at a wedding or at a party, you'll like sit there and not really do much and like not talk to people, or are you the one who's like social butterfly, like oh my god, blah blah blah, pounding back the shots and like you know?
no, okay, I went to a wedding a couple weeks ago. Everybody was dancing. I don't dance, so I did sit on the side with my feet up on a chair like I was like the old aunt.
See, I feel like that's why. Though, because like if you were in the middle of some conversation with two or three people and it looked like you guys were super involved like in this fantastic storytelling experience, but you know maybe they wouldn't bother you then, but because you were just sitting there watching, like just having that person be there by themselves alone, it's like, oh, do you really want to be there alone by yourself? Like, come on, come dance with us, you know?
Like I
I
don't
don't know.
dance, but then also nobody's like, well, I'll sit down and talk to you. They're like, well, I'm gonna keep dancing then. Like, okay, I'll just keep sitting here. I'm just monitoring everything like a vice principal.
I
Which
don't know.
which all of this is to say, I don't want to get into, to pole dancing for the dancing part. I just want to be fit and
Yeah,
hotter.
sure.
I have no rhythm. That I will have to develop.
Yeah, no, that's totally legit. Totally fine. One of the dancers here in Richmond taught a workshop on freestyling. Something that I cannot do. If you'd be like, Kyle, you dance, go out there, go in the middle, do something, I'll be like, no, that is not for me. I cannot do that ever.
You dance under instructions.
Yeah, like if I know
Okay.
the like routine to do, yeah, sure. I probably won't do it by myself, but sure.
Mhm.
But he was like, yeah, so this one's gonna be a weird one. Not everyone likes freestyling, just making it up on the spot at as they go. Not everyone can actually do that right away. Like that's a skill you also have to develop, right? But one of the things he said, he's like, the most important thing about dancing or any type of art that you might do, whether it's painting or sculpture or photography or whatever else, right? Like know why you do that artwork, know your reason behind it. It doesn't matter what it is, whether like that's the thing that you are passionate about, it gives you energy, it clears your mind, or if it's you just want to attract the opposite sex or like be sexier or like whatever it is. If you're just trying to get some pussy, know that is your reason. Because then like you can.
Maybe there's a problem with the network. Is it my network?
There is something you've been freezing from time to time, so we will figure it out. But he was basically saying just know why you're doing it.
Okay.
And
yes,
that's like the most important thing, because once you know that, then like everything else becomes clear. So.
Yeah, to be a hunk magnet.
There you go.
I think that's a good enough reason.
Yeah. There you go. Speaking of like pole dancing and all of that stuff, did you hear about the Tumblr ban on all of the not safe for work stuff?
I've just heard about it from you. How does this go?
So, interesting thing happening on the internet. I guess since you don't use Twitter all that much, that must have been something else you didn't hear about. Besides sitting in Chili's for 4 hours and reading comic books and not knowing how to ride a bike, something else I wouldn't mention on my first date is that I'm a Tumblr user, because that platform has been dead for years.
Yeah, I was also big into Tumblr for a long time, and I just kind of fell off of it a little bit. Yes.
When did you stop? Let me ask you that.
Oof.
Around what year?
Oh, I don't know, like 2 years ago or something.
Okay, so it was after Yahoo bought them then.
Yes, it was after that.
So I've been using Tumblr almost a decade now.
Oh, wow.
I think I made my first Tumblr in like 2009 or 2010. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I've had multiple Tumblr blogs and stuff. But it used to be a really, really cool place to be.
Yeah.
And then it kind of started to become a little bit more popular and went a little bit downhill, wasn't as good. And then Yahoo bought them.
Mm.
And that was not good. The site immediately just plummeted in quality and stuff like that. And that was like 5 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was terrible. It just like the amount of support that we like, their support went downhill.
Yeah,
like
I
if there
remember
was
being real glitchy.
something with that, there there was a whole big thing of like installing Xkit.
Yep,
like you needed to install Xkit. In fact, there was the original Xkit, and that guy stopped. And then other people are like, "Well, we're gonna like fork Xkit and make our own version of it," and that's still a thing. But so yeah, it was all these like add-ons to make the experience better or restore it to the way it used to look and stuff like that. I'm just like, this is like, it was so much better back in the day, which is always the thing that a lot of people say for all of the old like social media sites and stuff like that, right? But then Yahoo eventually got bought out by Verizon, and it went even
There's
more
always a bigger fish
downhill. Yeah, exactly. But this whole thing, I guess, hit the news cycles recently when Apple took the Tumblr app off of their app store.
Oh.
And stories came out shortly after that of like, why the hell did that happen? It was because of child pornography.
Oh.
And I guess it also came out later on that Verizon can't advertise on, or maybe it's Apple that has the thing. It might not be Verizon, but they can't sell advertisements on the site if it's next to pornography and stuff like that, which at this point, that's pretty much what like Tumblr's entire user base is like. They all have sex blogs and porn blogs.
They gotta
and
go
stuff
somewhere.
Like that. Yeah. And so I guess because of that, Tumblr was like, well, we're gonna ban all adult content from the site. Absolutely everything. And their statement said something along the lines of like, no, like genitals, like, you know, right, like no nudity, you can't show genitals, and you cannot show female presenting nipples.
That's bad news. People don't like that.
Yes, and like, so sure, if you don't want to see that stuff, that's fine. Tumblr had a way to mark your thing as not safe for work, to only see the not safe for work stuff if you're in the app. Like, they made it actually difficult to find all the not safe for work content if you were just some Joe Schmo who didn't know, right? You had to be a member of the site to find all of that stuff, and in the app. But that's part of it, of just like, look, we had these safeguards in there, but they weren't very good. You could have worked to improve that. That's one thing. Second, your wording is sexist, because like, like nipples or boobs in general aren't like a sexual organ. Sure, a lot of people sexualize them, but like that's not what they are. Like, so what's the difference between like a guy taking off his shirt versus a girl taking off his shirt? Nothing, really. And if you've like learned to sexualize that stuff, that's probably not a good thing. Right? Like, there's something deeper you need to address in yourself, not the website. But anyways, so it was that. But the flip side of the coin is Tumblr's also kind of rampant with like white nationalism and Nazi.
It is?
There's a lot of hate speech and
it.
stuff. Oh, you must have been in your safe little corner, because it is everywhere and it is a problem. I mean, like, hate speech and stuff like that is always rampant on the internet and stuff like that. But now it is easy, like, it's easier to find like Nazi stuff and white nationalism and all of that stuff than it is to find porn on that site. Like, that is more offensive to Verizon and Apple than Nazis. And it's just like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. And Verizon stock plummeted that next day. Of just like, we're announcing like no more not safe for work content. So everyone is scrambling to like well, I guess I'm gonna make a separate Twitter now. I guess I'm gonna move to this other social media thing. So it's just it's an interesting story to follow. And on December 17th is when like they are deleting all of that content, or at least making it private for a short time. So if people have like photography and stuff that they want to save, they can save it, and then, you know, stuff like that. So people are abandoning ship.
To where, do you know?
Instagram, Twitter, LO. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But it's a fascinating story to kind of see unfold in just this idea of like, hey, we have this very puritanical like view of the body and sexuality and
Hmm.
stuff like that, and that's not necessarily healthy. Like
Yeah.
it's fine if you're a Christian and you believe that porn is a sin or being gay is a sin and you don't want to be a part of that. That's fine. But like you're also the one that has, or I guess I shouldn't say you're the one, but I feel like I'm getting extra political here. But just like not everyone agrees with that, and so I've tended to, in my experience, people who are Christian are often the ones who are like, we have sexualized these things. No titties for anyone because they are sexual. And it's just like, no, I mean, great, you can have fun with them in sex, but that's not, yeah, that's not what it is.
So, oh, I haven't been active on Tumblr in quite some time, but I will still like once or twice a week just check in on like my notifications page in case any old thing of mine got reblogged or whatever. And like there were plenty of times where I got a new follower and I clicked on it and I'm like, ah, well, I see now that you
It's
clicked
a
on it. This is
porn
a
bot.
porn blog. And
Yeah,
like it was always kind of magical. Like, wow, look at all the bodies out there in the world. There's what a great
it's
array of bodies humans have. It's kind of nice.
yeah, like I've learned more about sex education from Tumblr than I ever did in school.
Hmm.
And just learning how to be comfortable with other people who might have different lifestyles, or like how to interact with them and stuff. Of just like, I don't necessarily understand, but like I doesn't mean I hate you or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like how can I help? How can I interact with you and not make you feel like less of a person, or stuff like that. And so yeah, like it's an interesting thing just to see all of that unfold. And it's like, well, they're wanting to sell advertisements on the thing, but they can't because of porn. And if that's why they took it off the app, like, what do you fucking think Snapchat is? Like,
Well, that's the thing is that the porn disappears.
yeah, it did, but like, just like that's what they do on all of the apps. On Twitter, nudity is fine. Like you can like that stuff is acceptable, and Twitter's on the Apple Store. I've seen porn on Twitter, like, but they haven't taken that one down. Like it's one of those things of like, if you're gonna take one down, take them all down. But you don't want to take all of you don't want to take Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff down, because then like that's how the world works. Like it's strange that stuff is now so ingrained into culture nowadays, right? It's just like that's how the world
Hmm.
works, which was kind of weird to get back to the Avengers thing, which is like, how did you not know the Avengers trailer was out? Like that's what everyone is talking about. That's
I
what the
didn't
world
look
is
at
talking about.
places where people were talking. Took a little break at lunch. Like, did anybody try to talk directly to me? I wasn't looking at people talking to each other, and nobody sent it to me immediately. You had to bring it up to me, which is
That's
what you're here for.
it's how I stay
You
informed.
keep me in the loop with the rest of the world. If it wasn't for you, I would have thought the big cow was something just one guy in my office found somewhere.
You're like, what? Other people were talking about this giant cow? That's funny. But yeah, I mean, like, what do you think of that? So, like, being someone who's never, I guess you've used Tumblr, but
Yeah,
didn't know that this thing was happening.
I knew porn was out there for sure,
Well, yeah.
but I didn't know that porn had been banished, and I did not know that far
Kyle, what's
seed.
porn? What's this? Well,
Well,
Melissa.
tiny side branch to this. Hold on. I seem to remember back in the 90s, people said porno a whole lot more, and now we've just dropped that
Drop
extra
the
O
O.
at the end. Does
Yeah.
this make sense to you?
I feel like in my mind, the way I see it, when you say porno, it refers to like a video.
A film. I
Yeah.
think that must be it. Because, like, I
Or
remember, I, uh-huh,
I was just say, or you can just say it's a porn
yeah,
film. Like that's fine.
yeah.
But
Oh, like I just remember that being like a sitcom joke when I was a kid. Like, dude, I bet it's a porn. He's in there watching porno or something, and then somewhere around the mid 2000s, like the entire world decided, I don't know what
after
we need the
it was
next
after Zach
episode
and
for.
Miri make a porno. I never
That
heard the
was the
word again.
last time. We're done. The O is retired. We've lifted it up to the rafters.
Drop the O. Um, yeah,
But
I don't know.
yes, I was aware Tumblr had porn, but I was not aware that it got real shady in other areas.
So apparently, what I heard was that the not safe for work ban had been in the works for the past like 6 months,
Hmm.
and because Apple took it off their store, their app store, Verizon moved up the time tables. So they were like, "Oh, all right, December 17th is the last day porn will be accepted on this website," and it was a shit show after that because of course traffic like spiked. Then everyone was like, well, I might as well like clear out the like porn spank bank that I had in my giraffe, so I'm just gonna like reblog all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
um it's like this is your last chance to see all my nudes. You have to,
It's a
um
news clearinghouse.
yeah. And but Tumblr was also like to help show people like what wouldn't be fit on their platform. They started like inserting this algorithm that would flag all of the posts, and when you
Hmm.
saw it on your dashboard, it would have this like red bar like this post has been flagged. Except their algorithm didn't work,
Of course
and
it didn't.
everything got flagged.
Oh my
Literally
gosh.
everything. Even staff's like announcement that like this was going to be like got flagged. It was just like, this fucking site has never worked. What the
Beautiful.
fuck? Why don't you guys fix the site instead? Ban the Nazis, not the nipples. Like what the God damn it. Like
I think more nipples, less Nazis is a
yes.
policy we can all agree on.
Yeah. More titties, please. Like like it's just like, what are you doing? Like this is not, it just seems counterintuitive of just like, that's not the way to fix the site. Like I don't know. So crazy stuff.
What a big week.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should join the world on Twitter and find out what's happening. We had the Game Awards last night. Super Smash Bros. Came out today.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it did. I downloaded it last night. I am smashing all of the bros.
Brothers.
That sounded awkward.
All the brothers are smashing. Pip pip.
Yeah, I made my parents watch the Game Awards last night. It was really
Isn't
funny. I was
that
like,
sweet?
Mom, Dad, what are you guys doing for the next like 2 hours? You should watch the Game Awards. It's like the Oscars, but for video games. They're like, okay. And I was like, you guys
I think it's
probably
only because you are the only child that you can get away with this.
yeah. And then I was like, you guys probably won't know anything about what they're talking about, but you might see Mario. My mom's like, oh, Mario, like I remember him. It's like, Mom, they're still making his games. He's still
he
very
lives today.
Yeah. Except on Super Smash Bros, where he died. But yeah, so they were just like, whoa, video games are cool. And I was like, yes, Mom, they are.
Mom learns video games are cool.
Yeah.
That's the news this week.
Exactly. That's kind of all I have for this week. I had
I learned a lot.
Yeah, a fantastic learning experience. If you have a not safe for work Tumblr out there, you are either the band playing on the Titanic, or you are jumping ship already, and may the force be with you, or something along those lines. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. What a way to end the show. What a way to end. But yeah, so we hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been episode 31 of the Captain's Log. I almost forgot that. I realized that at the start I said we had the fancy new name things, which I'll redo in just a sec, but we never actually said our names. So
dang, we didn't.
Yeah, like they'll never know who we are ever again.
I say your name constantly, so that's an easy one.
We may have mentioned it in conversation, but Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
Golly, Kyle. They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And if you need a nice clean Tumblr to go look at, I guess, my old Tumblr URL was Your Least Sassy Friend.
There you go. If you guys want to find me online, I am Yo Kyle Springer on both Twitter and Instagram. And if you would like updates for this show or any of the other podcasts that we do here at the Whatnauts, go follow us on Twitter at the Whatnauts. We have Facebook too. I never mentioned that because I hate Facebook.
Every time you mention it, you look like you're waking up from a dream. Like, oh, we have a Facebook too.
I mean, it's one of the things you just have to be like, oh, we're on this and we do that, and follow us here, like, share, subscribe, and sell your soul to the devil. Blah 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 blah. You know, and it's all these things. It's just like, I just do the thing.
You know where to find us.
Hit the buttons, okay?
Hit them.
Hit the buttons. That being said, if you guys would also like to support this show, patreon.com/the Whatnauts, and you guys can support us for $1 a month. That's pocket change, guys. You can reach in to your pocket amongst all that pocket sand and pull out 4 quarters and throw it at us, and we will catch it.
As the Pop-Tarts cost in the vending machine at work. Kyle, speed round, what is the best flavor of Pop-Tart? Because you put it on the topics list this week.
Yes, strawberry frosted. You have to go with that. Second is cinnamon sugar.
I'm a cinnamon sugar girl.
And then you have to go for one of the one of the chocolate ones, like s'mores. I asked that because I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they mentioned that, and someone was like, you have to go with the cinnamon sugar, and someone was like, no, what is wrong with you? Blueberry. And he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Who eats blueberry Pop-Tarts?
Find a blueberry.
No,
ultimately, at the end of the day,
get the fuck out of here with your blueberry
Pop-Tarts.
No one likes blueberry Pop-Tarts. That's bullshit. Exactly. I guess other announcements. By the time this goes public, we did, I guess, a couple of days after that, we're trying to do a 3-year anniversary retrospective. Details still aren't set in stone, so that would be a fantastic reason to go follow us on Twitter. That's where all the updates happen. Or you can get more info on our website, which is thewhatnauts.com. But we are hoping it's basically kind of like what we do here on the Captain's Log, but we'll be reflecting on all of the stuff that we did this year here at the Whatnauts and stuff like that. It should be good fun. More details on that to come, so keep your eyes peeled. That being said, I believe that's it. We don't have many more episodes of this to record before we go on winter break.
No.
And then
next
in the
week
new
will be the
year,
last one.
Yeah, and exactly. Next week will be the last one. Then we're gonna take a short break, and then we will come back with season 2 of everything, of the captain's log and the review show. So hopefully that'll be fun. Good stuff. That's it. That's all we got. Episode 31 of the Captain's Log. We out. Adios, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.